a treatment plan. And most of this tended to focus on the patient's unique physical and biological needs, some of their social needs, and sometimes their emotional needs. But the spiritual needs of the person, including a spiritual assessment and intervention for spiritual distress, was almost never part of holistic, comprehensive care. So when we started, our viral load suppression with children and adolescents was completely unacceptable. I strongly believe that we will never reach the UNAIDS goals of 95, 95, 95 unless we include all 4 domains of the human person into care and treatment: the bio, psycho, social, spiritual model of care. And here are the results of almost 1,500 children and adolescents when you do that. We're not yet at 95, but we are well on our way. I want to be very, very clear that this is not proselytizing. This is not trying to convert a child or an adolescent to your religion or your way of thinking, but this is person-centered approach to discover and empower that which gives this young person meaning, purpose, and connectedness in their lives. How do you get meaning in life? What's your purpose in life? How do you experience being connected with others? And if you believe in God, with God. And so as I begin to train staff, this is the international consensus definition that I'm looking at. It often, especially in Africa, does involve religion in terms of the connectedness, but not always. This is, again, looking at what brings meaning, purpose, connectedness, and transcendence into a person's life. So at our clinic, the initial spiritual distress assessment happens within 72 hours of diagnosis. Here's some of the questions our nurses, social workers, or counselors, whoever is doing this initial assessment, begins to engage with. We've talked a lot about your body and this virus, how you're feeling, about school and home. But here we also care about your faith and religion and beliefs and how that impacts your health. Is it okay if I talk a little bit about this? Do you have a faith, religion, or spiritual beliefs? Can you tell me more about that? Do you participate in a community, a church, a mosque, a temple? And how do your beliefs impact your health? Can we talk about this as we continue our care and support for you? This is an open, honest, person-centered care. We also talk openly about faith healing and how many clients hope for that miracle. They don't want to be on this medicine. But our mantra is it's not faith or medicine, but faith and medicine. And how can we help you integrate both of those in your lives? During subsequent visits, as we continue to do that biopsychosocial spiritual assessment and care, we're looking at the 5 spiritual needs of children. I happen to like my colleague Mark Bartel's 5 spiritual needs to look at how this child has love, faith, hope, virtue, and beauty integrated into their life and into their communities. I'm including a little bit of research. We certainly absolutely need more research, especially on pediatric spiritual care, and especially coming from Africa. So for you young students and researchers looking at this, consider this for your dissertation, your next publication. I would absolutely welcome any further discussion, communication. This is the EDARP website. If you want more information on training on how to integrate spiritual care into clinical care, this is our curriculum here at GW University. I invite you to join the Global Network for Spirituality and Health. And lastly, my email. Thank you so much for your time. Asante sana, and I look forward to more discussions.
Thank you, Father Bao, for that very interesting presentation. Indeed, spiritual care into clinical care. We know that in Africa, spiritual care is very, very important. And if we ignore it as we are implementing our interventions or looking at the recipient of care, if we ignore that, we might be missing it. So that's a very interesting presentation from you, Father Lick, and hopefully we have learned a lot, and I know that people might have questions. So I would implore you to take note of the questions, and please feel free to put those questions in the Q&A chat box, and then we'll be able to lead those questions to the speaker, and then they can respond. They can respond to you. Otherwise, very interesting session for the African setting. We take spiritual care very, very important in Africa, and this is something that we need to think of. How do we integrate this? How do we bring this home to be part of the clinical care? So that was a very interesting presentation. Thank you very much, Father Bao, for that presentation. So the next presentation will come from Manjate from Mozambique, and he is going to do the presentation in Portuguese. So we are going to have people that are going to interpret. So I would request from wherever you are watching from, please go to the interpretation button, which is just on the bottom there, and select the English for you to be able to get the English. But if you are, for example, you are from the Portuguese satellite, just leave it because you can get it direct. So just go on the interpretation button on the bottom there, which is just next to the record button, and then choose English for this presentation. So for Ascendio, we will talk to the economical support, and more specifically is going to talk about the savings and the loan groups, a model that is working in a project they are calling Kisangate, a project. We also want to learn from that angle. So Ascendio, over to you for the presentation. Thank you.
Boa tarde a todos. Em primeiro lugar, dizer que sou.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, to say I'm Arsenio Manchat, and I am working in Mozambican organization as a manager of the project, and it's called Uganda. This project is implemented in the province of Inhambane, the south of Mozambique, and it has the financing. The project has as an objective to contribute in a constructive way for the children that live with HIV, that they can have a more healthy way of life, and to be able to live to their potential. And I wanted to share how we are implementing this project, the contribution of the communities, and also to help with the economic of all the families, and believing that many of you might be familiar with this approach of this kind of group that borrow to groups, to groups in needed financially, and this is my presentation. To start, I would like to say, like to do a definition on a summary way. What is the approach that we refer to loan, the community loans? It's people that have families that have like 10 members, and together they borrow money with a low rate of interest, and they use it in savings, And this type of approach, it's again, like they create like an account where they're going to help the woman and the caregivers of children. So the community gets together to do this loans, and to improve their life, their type of life, and through this also the provision of guidance and teaching. And we also give sessions of themes about health, and we also count with help from donors to carry on with this project. Yeah, we have a way also to train the facilitators and to train to turn them into professionals to assist, and also to learn about the session of saving. So we teach them how to save the materials so that we can save the money that is saved by the members, and not waste. And firstly, it is presented this approach to the community leaders so that they have to find out and know about this approach, this project, and the facilitators in favor of the communities, and the community is aware that this to facilitate their life and to help them. So, and through many of our channels, we communicate, we keep them informed, and we inform about the new members and any other approach that we have for the project. We inform, for example, the groups of mothers that are entering other mothers, and also through the activities of testing. So this project implements also that motivation, and it's informed and also part of the community. And we have the collaboration of other members of the implementation, and also the matter of sanitary care. The members of this group of savings, that they call them, they also are part, and they also advise how we must do the saving, how do we obtain the loans, and what conditions. Important to mention here that this group, as it leadership time and type, and they share it with all the groups and all the members, and they talk about their own values, the values that they approach, and they also establish together as a group what is the rate they're going to pay on these loans. And in the period of they meet and they talk about this matter with the group like twice a month, and they discuss how much savings they want to do, what they can, where can they save, and then they decide what changes they do, if they're going to do it annually, how. And the members can then establish what is an initial fund, which is that fund is used to monitor the activity of the members of the group, allowing the access to the funds that are necessary. It's events like emergency. If there's something very serious with one member, they can then use this fund to help that person. In case of the death of a member of the family, so we use the fund to help that member in the case of an emergency. As I've already mentioned, the facilitators, they conduct these sessions where all of this is discussed, and they explain, and they also use this as a reference to all the members, and at the end, the members know and has to decide and approve what this money is needed for. And when there is a crisis, they discuss among themselves. It's discussed before they can to make a decision. But basically, this is to assist the families, and they want to make sure that the value used is used for that emergency and for the good of the community and the people. And everything is worked out, that the fund also acquires interest. This is all discussed with the members, and many of the members of the group of savings, they make the decisions. Any decisions, it is based on their own criteria. You know, we note that in this project, that the participation of the members improve the level of life, even at the level of the mass family, and all with the aim of long term to teach the families and get them to stand resilience. And also that they can help their family members, and that they can do things with their life. They can play sports. They can have money for the transport to go to the to clinics and other institutions needed. And all the decisions of the families, they discuss the problems and everything about the families, because many of the members are in fact women. So everything is discussed in this group. And the women, they represent the group, and this idea of saving, they get an advice of some solutions of what they can do better, and to enter into a new phase, a new understanding. And this is connected also. It's also connected to the retention of members, and because they know that they get the support on a continuity way. And on the first cycle, which is the phase of investigation, and we also have this connection at other centers and other activities that are implemented by the project, so that there is collaboration among all of them, not just with one objective. It is for more than one need, so that everybody can benefit, and especially with the patients, that they can do treatments and they can have access to medication, to all the assistance they need, and we're learning to save and to not waste material, because that's part of the saving. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arsenio, for that very interesting presentation on the model. As you were talking, I was taking note of some of the things that you are doing in the Kusangata project, and it's very interesting coming from that angle of care, where we are trying to improve the economical status of the caregivers. I understand that your project is trying to target the pregnant and breastfeeding mothers, but as well as also target the caregivers for those that are taking care of children that are living with HIV, but not only those that are living with HIV, but also children that have been exposed to HIV. So very interesting. On the benefit, it was very interesting because you are saying that by joining these groups, the village savings and the loan groups, people are able to have access to resources from that group like loans. So therefore they have got better retention because they can afford transport to go to health facilities. These children can also go to schools, they can afford the school materials and a lot of other things that are happening in the project. At the end of the day, what we are having is better health outcomes. Very interesting project from the healthcare point of view. I have seen there are a number of questions on the Q&A box, which is very encouraging as well. So if you have got any questions for Arsenio, please feel free to put them down in the box, and they will be able to lead those and direct them to the people that you are asking. Very interesting project from happening in Mozambique. I'll go to the next presenter, who is Lindy Chinoda from an organization called the Friendship Bench, where they are implementing a model. And she is going to talk to mental and psychosocial support as a model for children, adolescents, and young people that are living with HIV. So Chinoda, over to you for your presentation. Thank you. Please feel free to take the notes as usual, and we will address them. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lindy Chinoda from Friendship Bench, and I'm going to be presenting on the mental psychosocial support. And I'm going to be talking about the Friendship Bench model. I'll talk more on that one and the processes that are involved in Friendship Bench and what's working for now and the challenges. And I'm also going to look at the key lessons so far in Friendship Bench. So Friendship Bench is a psychosocial intervention that was created in 2006 by Professor Dixon Chibanda to bridge the mental health treatment gap. As from the statistics from WHO, it shows that the treatment gap is between 75% to 90%, meaning 90% of the population have no access to mental health care. And that's how Friendship Bench came to being, and its focus is mainly on the mild to moderate common mental disorders, with the main focus on depression and anxiety. The good thing about Friendship Bench is that it works with the community health workers, and these, since 2006, we refer to them as grandmothers. And they work in the primary healthcare level, and it targets everyone who is above 18 years and above. And the main aim of Friendship Bench is to get people out of depression, with its mission is to have a Friendship Bench at a walking distance, which means Friendship Bench is community-based. It is there in the community, and it's offered by grandmothers who are there in the community. It is a tax-shifting approach, meaning it was the burden of looking after the mental health clients was taken from the specialized cadres, the nurses, the doctors, and it was shifted to the community health workers, and they were given a skill to be able to address these depressive symptoms. So basically in Friendship Bench, we have about 4 delivering agents. We have got the classic grandmothers that were in Friendship Bench since 2006. And we also have the youth buddies. These are university students on attachment, and they offer psychosocial support to other peers, anyone who is in the academic setting. And we have this in a 1-year period. We also have what we call the nurse supervisors, whereby these ones receive the red flags from the tools that we use at Friendship Bench, we have got 2 questions that we refer to as red flags, where someone is presenting with hallucinations or suicidal ideations. And for the grandmothers, they cannot deal with these clients, so they refer these to the nurse supervisors for further management. And these nurse supervisors can also do further referrals if the client requires institutionalization. We have also the open liners, is our delivering agents. These are the postgraduates. They were once attached with Friendship Bench, then after they graduate, they come back to Friendship Bench as open liners, and they offer again psychosocial support in the community now for all the young people, and often they work online. They use the WhatsApp platform to offer sessions. Then we've got the mental health champions. These are from 2000 to 2019, my apologies. These are employees that we train in different organizations and companies to offer psychosocial support in workplaces, and they also assist their peers in terms of mental health awareness. And what we have to take note is these are non-health care workers, and they have no background of mental health, and we also train them to offer support to their peers at workplace. On how we find these cadres that we work with at Friendship Bench, we normally ride on existing structures within the Ministry of Health and Childcare, because we, as Friendship Bench, we don't have the human resource, but we receive this from the Ministry of Health, and to capacitate them on our model, the problem-solving therapy model. And I'll speak more of on the grandmothers, because these are the classic cadres that we have been working with since 2006. And they've been doing health promotion activities for a longer period, because they have the training from the Ministry of Health, and also our training becomes an add-on. And this also improves their skills in counseling, and they are good listeners and empathy. We talk of empathy here because they have all this training. And they also offer the psychosocial support through the problem-solving therapy. Our model is designed in such a way that they have to sit on a bench, the physical bench, but as of late, it has transitioned to the bench being the person offering the services. So it means now we have the services exchanged. They can also maybe have the services at the borehole, anywhere in the community besides the clinic and online. So the person who offers the services now has become the bench, but we have the physical benches in our primary healthcare facilities. These cadres, they receive an 8-day training and followed up by a 1-month internship, after which they receive a certification to start offering the services in their communities. And the clients that receive our services, usually after the 3rd session, because we expect them to have 6 sessions for counseling, but after the 3rd session, they can be referred to the mental health support groups that we refer to as the Sepo or CKTs. So besides, again, the continuity of service, getting the psychosocial support as an individual, they now get the support as a group, which we refer to as group therapy. And besides that, they also earn a living from these income generating projects that they do within their CKT. So they do a variety of projects. It's either poultry, they also do the zip-bag and crocheting. Some are into isols. So it depends on what the group really wants. And these are the services that we offer at Friendship Bench. We have the sensitization with the buy-in of our gatekeepers, all the high-level people in the community. And this also helps us in the acceptance of the intervention. Also have the mobilization. This is where we engage the wider community through outreaches and having awareness campaigns, so that we have an appreciation of mental health. We also have the CKTs, I've mentioned them before, the income generating projects. Then also have the trainings, which could be the new trainings or the refresher trainings, just to assist the delivery agents to have the skill to offer the services in the community. We have also the supervision and monitoring. This is where we visit the client, the delivering agents after training, to see how they are performing in the community, and to also support them. Then we have got the reporting as another package that we have at Friendship Bench. This is distribution of reports that we do to our monitoring and evaluation department to see how we are really doing in the community. We also carry out researches on different study areas within Friendship Bench. And what is really working now for Friendship Bench is the decreased depressive symptoms that we are seeing. We have seen that there's a 76% decrease in the depressive symptoms and the suicide ideation using our tool, the screening tool that we use. We have also seen the improvement of livelihood of our clients through the CKT activities that they are engaged in. And also we have seen the acceptance of Friendship Bench by other organizations. Recently, we've been adopted by the Ministry of Health in Zimbabwe as a national program. And also the scaling up from the 3 clinics that we had in 2006. Now we are in about 200 clinics and we have 1,700 community health workers that we have trained so far. And the challenges that we have, the loss to follow up, not every client is reaching the 6 sessions. And because of that, we have managed to try and follow up using the client services that we have, the customer care services that we have, because some come expecting monetary gains, and because of that, they don't really come back. And some, of course, they have the first session and everything becomes okay, and they don't seek the services anymore. But we need them to join the CKTs to improve their livelihoods. Then the pandemic, of course, the COVID-19 that really disrupted everything. The implementation activities were delayed. Then we have got the stigma that is associated with mental health that affects people in seeking mental health care. Then we have got the competing programs where we are working with the community health workers. They do not work for Friendship Bench alone. So every organization is with, they are into maternal care, they are into COVID-19 vaccinations, they are into polio. So they are in a number of programs. So we are all fishing from the same pond. And that is really affecting the implementation. Then we have got the CHW attrition. For some that started with Friendship Bench in 2006. Some have now poor health complaints, and some are a bit old, and some are really, we are losing them maybe to death. And that is really affecting us and affecting their performance depending on how we are losing that community health worker. But the lessons that we have learned so far as Friendship Bench is that it is all inclusive. We have learned to have an appreciation of other people's values, customs, without judging or prejudice. Then with the buy-in from the key stakeholders has also made the intervention more accepted and much easier to work in the communities. We have also seen the increase in capacity building, that we realize the importance of capacitating our mental health providers so that we may strengthen the care in our primary health care facilities. And also the integration of Friendship Bench into existing programs. This Friendship Bench, we are not standalone, we do not work in isolation. We need other programs that are into mental health for us to work together. Then the partnerships, we've again realized that the formal workplace has not been getting much attention when it comes to mental health. Hence, we have worked in collaboration with the WHO special initiatives to try and penetrate the workplace. And this has been working well as we are also into the workplace to try and assist our workers so that they perform much better. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Shinoda, for that excellent presentation. Yes, now I understand what the Friendship Bench really means when you did that presentation. I was thinking it's just a bench at the clinic, but now you have explained. Excellent presentation. So thank you very much to all the speakers for those wonderful presentations. And I know all your presentation, we are speaking to today's theme, which is shifting and shaping strategic priorities. And we cannot afford to continue business as usual if we are to achieve the UN's goals, which is the 95, 95, 95. So we need to change on the way we are doing things. And of course, all your presentations were excellent, and they were also speaking to our main topic, which is putting the caregivers and community at the center of change as we go towards ending AIDS in children, adolescents, and as well as young people. We have got a number of questions in the Q&A. I've seen those questions. I would at this point ask all the speakers to please turn your cameras on, and then also take time to look at the questions. So in this Q&A session, we'll try as much as possible to respond to the question in the live session. But if we cannot respond to all of them or some of them, then we would ask the speakers to respond to those, and then we can send a feedback. So I'll go to the Q&A box, and then we can start asking the question. So approximately we have got about 30 minutes to do the Q&A session. So we have a bit of time, and we'll try as much as possible to address those questions. So I'll go to the first question, which goes to Nokutula. The question, Nokutula, is who supports the adolescent with a transportation to the support group meeting? So people want to know, is there any support to these adolescents in terms of transportation to the support group meetings?
Okay, thank you, Chair, for the question. So in terms of the support for the adolescents when they come into the support groups, I think initially when we started with running support groups, we started running them during the week, and we quickly realized that we're having a challenge in terms of transport for adolescents who come into a support group. So one of the key things that we have learned and we are currently implementing is that we don't take them out of their clinical appointments. So what we do, we synchronize all the services, and then they will come on a Saturday. When they come on a Saturday, they will receive all their clinical services, including attending a session that will have been scheduled for them. And also the second thing that we are also implementing, we are working very closely with community-based organizations that are linked into the clinics that we are supporting. So adolescents that are not able to attend the sessions at the clinic, they are able to attend those sessions at the community setting, of which is a walking distance. Thank you.
Thank you, Nokutula, for that response. I'm sure it's clear to the people. The other question, the next question is goes to on the key lessons, and it's from Zimbabwe. The question is providing incentive to children and caregivers sustainable? So this goes back to you, Nokutula, again. Sorry about that.
No problem. So in terms of sustainability, absolutely, it's not a sustainable approach. So if you look in terms of the types of incentives that we are currently providing to our children, we are looking at an activity book that we give them. It's something that can be, you can make copies from a facility setting, or you can make copies from a community setting, and then they'll take the book home with them. In that activity book, they've got pages that they can use to color in for fun, but they can also bring it back to collect stickers. So the stickers that I'm talking about is something that can be cut out of a paper, and then we can stick it into the book. In terms of the caregivers, the approach that we are looking into is it's not a monetary incentive, but what we are doing is we are giving them roles, those ones that are interested, so that when we are running these sessions during the weekend, and then each caregiver will get an opportunity to assist with any logistics. It could be assisting with the register, or dividing the children and putting them into different groups. And then by doing that, they know that when they come in the morning, they will be the first one to be attended to. So those are the types of incentives I'm talking about.
Thank you very much. Before I let you go, I'll ask you the last question, then I'll go to the other speakers just for balancing purposes. So the other question is, yes, excellent program and well done to Zoe Life. Can you please talk more about how you have managed to scale up the project? And then the follow-up question is, where are you implementing this project? And then the last one is the material open source or crowdsource. hopefully you'll be able to remember those follow-up questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the first thing to respond to in terms of how the program has been effective, I think in terms of the implementation, we do have data at the moment that speaks into children that were enrolled into these support groups, specifically in the groups where they were not very suppressed, and then after receiving a high dosage or enhanced adherence sessions, when we did bloods, and then we realized that those children were actually suppressing. So we do have some publications that I could probably email, and individuals that are interested, they can look into that. And then in terms of the scale up, we are scaling up we are actually using two methodologies. So the first thing that we have done in South Africa, specifically in KwaZulu-Natal, we are providing direct services where we train healthcare workers, we provide mentorship, and then they are the ones that are running these support groups. And we are also having our champions that are currently, obviously, they are currently funded. And then we are implementing in 8 clinics at the moment, and also supporting 4 community-based organizations. So that's a direct implementation from the organization itself. And then the second option, we are working very well with a lot of organizations that are implementing in South Africa, and we actually train them and mentor them, and then they take the model and implement it in their own environment or in their own context. So in terms of our footprint in South Africa, we are currently implementing in 8 provinces out of the 9 provinces. I hope that makes sense. And then in terms of the material, so our material, we've got the material that is open source, and then we also have some of the material that we actually have to protect. For example, in one of my slides, there was a slide with like an app. So one of the job aids, we've actually took one of our paper-based job aid and pivoted it into an app that you can download from a Play Store. So because we are working with children, with that, it's not an open source. We want to make sure that the person who's accessing that information, they are being trained, and they are able to utilize it without causing any damage. And then we do have other resources that they can receive in the training, and then they can also make copies. So yeah, and then also we also have a WhatsApp, of which at this point I can say it's open source, because if you have an access into your WhatsApp, you have the number, you are able to WhatsApp and ask questions, and then you've got a bot that gives you information based on the categories that we have on the menu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nokutula, for the responses. Just to employ you that you can check, there are more questions, and those you can respond to them off the session. So I'll move on to Father Bauer. There are some questions for you. Of course, this is a very interesting session, spiritual care, and a lot of debate has happened with this topic. So the question to you, Father Bauer, is, how is spiritual care integrated into the clinical care in the facility? Is this provided by a separate person? So that's the first question. I will ask the second question once you respond to that.
So yeah, in our model, it happens within 72 hours. So it's usually after the physical assessment, either with the doctor or the clinical officer has done that initial assessment, prescribed the medication. It happens after the nursing assessment. Usually they see one of our social workers for the mental health screening, the social situation. And initially it was the social workers that put this on, and asking those basic questions, we've talked about your body, your feelings, your school, your home situation. We also care about your faith, your beliefs, your spirituality, your religion. Is it okay? Start to have that conversation. So it's really seen as integrated into a comprehensive history and physical during those first initial days. And what we found is that it was very new for people. Their healthcare providers, they weren't used to having their healthcare providers ask about faith. It almost immediately ended people dying from going to faith healers, both religious faith healers and traditional faith healers exclusively, because they knew they could talk about these issues with their nurse, their social worker, or their doctor.
Very interesting, yes, very interesting highlights from there. So the second question is just a follow-up on what you are to respond to. How can we approach the patients when their religion do not believe in HIV and they recommend that our patients stop the HIV treatment? So just a follow-up on what you are starting to explain.
It's exactly the same thing. In Swahili, what I kept saying to, we use the culture, and our culture in Kenya is karibu, karibu, karibu. Everyone is welcome. So that it's not, the point to make a judgment, you should go to that church or you shouldn't go to that temple. We want you to feel welcome. And so the assessment is what gives you meaning, purpose, and hope. If you're at a place that, your pastor is telling you, to stop your medications, if you really believe in God, God will heal you, we're not going to say stop that, but we're also saying you can talk to us about your beliefs. And we have some pastors here that are also on treatment that would love to talk with you if you would like to talk to them. So we have a cohort of HIV positive pastors, priests, imams that are willing to talk to kids about their journey of faith and their journey of being on treatment.
Thank you very much for that elaborative response. And thank you very much, the team or the satellite from Nigeria for the question to Father Bao. So I'll move, I can see when I scroll down that there are a number of questions still going to Nokuthula. I'll still ask other speakers to respond. Like I said, Nokuthula, you can take note of those questions and then we can respond to them. There is a question from Zimbabwe, Bulawayo to be specific, to Majate from Mozambique. So the question is for village saving and loan groups, how is security of the fund ensured and how do you mitigate risks that are involved in pulling the funds? I think that's a very technical question specifically on the saving groups. Over to you, Majate, if you can respond to that.
Yes, thank you. So
thank you. I can see that
the diversity groups. So the first of the criteria is the zero status situation of the members who are integrated in the groups. Then we have other criteria like to join to the group, they have a trust with the members. They are not allowed to participate in the group without trust with them. So all the members are friendly. So there are different criteria to establish the groups, and then they are decided what criteria there has to ensure that the members of this group take a loans. So I are not allowed one members who that join with the group to take loans with the groups. And then I think that is the case to mitigation the risk of to lose the money. Thank you.
Thank you, Majate, and it's good that you have tried to respond in English. So there is a follow-up question for you. So the person that is asking is, what are some of the good practices that have been learned from this project, especially when it comes to care for children, adolescents, and young people? What are some of those best practices that you can share to the participants?
So good. I think I can share with you the good practices putting the relation with the other approach that we are implementing. So, for example, we have some challenge with
we seem to have lost him. Maybe it's due to poor network connectivity. Once he comes back, I can make a follow-up. So I'll move into the next question. The next question still goes to Majat, so I'll move there. But I have a question for Silindi from Zimbabwe.
Sorry, I lost connection.
Sorry, are you back now?
Yes, I'm back. So I was saying
you
that,
can finish, yes.
Yes, I was saying that we have a different approach where that we're integrating the member of this area and that groups. For examples, we're implementing the activity related in income generating, where the members there it's possible to get a money to save in this in the groups, in the savings group. And then when we are joining the members in the different groups, it's possible, or we are make sure that the members in the VSLA groups has a money to save, and they can do the same activity in income generating for that in the different approaches.
Thank you for that response. I'll ask you the last question. There are a couple of questions for you. Those we can respond them maybe off the live session. So the last question comes from Zambia, to be specifically Kafue, Gertrude Nyelenda. She's trying to find out how will you ensure sustainability in instances where savings are not adequate? So this group has got savings, but these savings are not adequate. How do we ensure sustainability in such a case?
All right, so we ensure that we assist the group continually. Our community actors based in the community to follow up all the steps of the activity of the VSL groups. So they are doing a lot of sessions to ensure that the members are retained in the groups. Otherwise, we are implementing a different approach, such I said in the past, that we are doing a lot to counsel the groups to continue showing them what is the benefits to join in the groups. And then in our experience in the field, to join in the group, savings groups, they're showing that the people get a lot of benefits in participating on that groups.
Thank you very much for that response. I will move on to the next question, which goes to Silindi on the friendship bench presentation. So the question is, what was your experience with your team during the COVID pandemic, where we recorded an increase in terms of mental illnesses amongst your target beneficiaries and as well as caregivers? What were your experience? Because we have these mental health issues, and then COVID also brought the other challenge of where we saw an increase in these cases. So what was your experience as a project and as a model in Zimbabwe?
Yes, we get I don't know if I can say that.
Sorry,
we get
the question goes
experience.
to Silindi. Sorry, Manjat, maybe I wasn't very clear.
Okay.
Yes, it goes to Silindi. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, so it's very true that there was an increase of mental health issues during the COVID-19, because as we remember well, we were all confined in our homes. And for some of the victims, they were confined in those homes with the perpetrators of a variety of crimes. And because of that, there was a high need of the mental health care. So this really gave birth to our platforms. As I mentioned during my presentation, that mainly Friendship Bench is a physical bench. It starts from the physical bench that we have. But this again created more platforms where we had to come in with interventions. That's when we created the online platform, whereby we had sessions using WhatsApp. So we created a platform where even when people were in their homes, they had access to our intervention using that platform, whereby we had to link them with a psychologist or a therapist so that they could have the sessions during time. It was so difficult now to go to the clinics because our benches are in the clinics. It wasn't possible so it was the creation of the online services that we have. So we continued offering the services even during that time and up to now. And also there was also the creation of what we call the caring for the carer, because we noticed that during the time, the frontline workers, they were not really given that opportunity to have the psychosocial support. They were not receiving much, and we take a break during that time. For us, we are in the homes, but the frontliners, they were continuing with their work. So we also came up with an initiative that we referred to as caring for the care in collaboration with OFID, with PEPFAR, with the JF CAPNAC. So we continued to offer these services even during the time. So we did the services during the time.
Hello, Celine, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. You had gone quiet. Okay. Yes. Are you done or you're still responding? You can go ahead.
I'm done with the question. Just responding that we had other forms of offering the services more than just having the physical sessions that we normally had on the physical page. We create the online services that we now have, and also for the carer also resulted from the experiences that people encountering during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you very much for that response. I have another follow-up question from an anonymous attendee who is saying, as a community psychologist, Friendship Bench is an excellent and innovative and African solution, which is good. But I would like to ask why grandmothers are the main cohort. That is the first question. You raised the issue that they were lost to illnesses and others to death. This is a risk that is with recruiting mainly the elderly or older people. So maybe you can respond to that. I think the first thing that she or he is trying to ask is, why are grandmothers as the main cohort? And then the issues of you losing these mothers to illnesses or death being a risk as you recruit the elderly. What is maybe your response and maybe some of the lessons that you learned from this?
Okay, thank you so much for that one. So using the grandmothers that we refer to gogos, and we have seen it as they are a sustainable asset. In that culturally, really, we believe that if people have challenges in the communities or within the families, those are the people to go to seek. In as much as we don't offer as a friendship bench, but we believe because of their age and we believe they have the wisdom. And like now there's a high increase of brain drain. They are not really affected by brain drain, but the major reason why we are using the grandmothers is culturally, we believe because of their wisdom, they're able to be respected and they're able to sit down with a client and offer counseling services or sessions without giving advice and without the counseling skills that they have because of their age, maybe talking of the patients, the empathy, and they have all those qualities. And the major reason being culturally, really, them as the people that we need to go to because of their age. But now the lessons that we have learned, as I've mentioned, that we are losing them most to poor health and other reasons. Now we are working with young people. We also recruit young people, what we call the buddies, students from universities. So we are now linking them with the young people because for now we are using technology and all, and they also to assist the when they're doing their job. So to this or to mitigate this terms of age and all, we are linking them now with young people.
We seem to be losing Cindy. I think it's due to the poor connectivity there. Yeah, so just to add, last week, I'm from training health providers, and they were young, and of course, those elderly health providers, most of these are in charges. And one of the things that we learned is that the adolescent and young people are more free to approach the elderly health providers comparing to those that the younger ones. So maybe could be one of the reason why the friendship bench had considered to target those, because young people feel this is my grandfather, this is our go-go, I can share with them anything. Unlike those other providers that are in the age range of their parents, who are more on controlling and more on discipline, but the elderly ones are more on accommodating and listening to the young people. Maybe that could be one of the lessons. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for that question. So since we still have a bit of time, maybe I can ask the last question. Arsenio, you have a number of questions, so maybe I can ask you the last question before we sum up. So the question is, do you offer other options for clients who are not interested in the village savings and loan, like skills trainings, for example? Are there any other options for those people that are not interested in joining these groups? Essential, Manjati, that's the question to you.
Yes, thank you. So when we have verified that the people are not interested to join to the savings group, we integrate them in the other groups, like mothers to mothers groups and to income generating groups. So we provide a lot of support to ensure that our target group are retained in the treatment and cares. So we are implementing different approach, and then we integrate the member who are not interested in the vessel groups to other groups.
Thank you very much for that response. So just the last maybe follow-up question to you. So to ensure that there is people repay, are there any, is there a requirement for people to have collateral when they are borrowing money from the group? And they are going to use this money maybe to take a child that is living with HIV for care and support at the facility. Is there collateral or this is open?
It's open. It's depending of decision of the groups. The groups establish the roles to implement their groups in the community. It's all depending of their agreement with the members in the group.
Thank you very much to all the speakers for responding to those questions. Like I've said, that there are a number of questions in the Q&A box. We need to respond to those. And thank you very much to all the participants for your question. Indeed, this was a very interesting session because it speaks to us in our setting, because we know that caregivers and communities, indeed, these are the center of change, and they have played a very vital role for us to provide care for children, adolescents, and as well as and the young people. Otherwise, shalom, shalom to everyone. Thank you very much to all the speakers. You are wonderful, and thank you for your presentation and the responses. And have a good day, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
we discuss a bit. Otherwise, when we keep online, we may not benefit throughout. So what we're going to do is we have 5 questions. My colleagues, you didn't arrange them in order, but I think that was okay. So we have 5 questions, and we're going to divide ourselves into 5 groups. All together. Now what you're going to do is, we're going to give you stick notes. You write on responding to those. All together. Then from those questions, you'll be able to get someone who will present. Right? Yeah, I think we first begin with that. Then after, I think we'll end up agreeing as a team by prioritizing the questions, and we pick the most 2 or the favorite 2 questions that we can take to tomorrow's breakaway session. Tulifena? Okay. So, mwana wange omutaddewo. So who is here? She has gone. So let's say she's 1. Are we together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, you're 3. Hey. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one is 1. Are we together? So can we have, yeah, you see when people are not around, they can always fix in as we move on. So can we have all the ones to stand up? No, members, let's first take like that. So all the ones stand up. So I'm going to ask you to go to the other round table. You pick your question. Your question is here. Are we together? Pick it, and then you go that side. Are we together? Then number 2 to immediate. All the 2s. No, excuse, I think let's follow what I'm saying. Otherwise, you're going to confuse. So 1s go the other side. Then all the 2s stand up. No, it's okay. Me, I know how I'm going to handle these who are mixing. Yeah, we'll know how we shall handle them. So, the 2s, please go and pick your number. But number 2s, yes. Number 2, you go that side. Grace, you help me you give them the stick notes. Banamba Biri. Muderi. Okay. Number 3. Number 3. Where number 3? Okay. Number 3s, please get your question. And number 3. Where are we putting you? Okay. There's this middle table there. Number 2 there, number 3. Number 4. Number 4s. Yes, number 4. Please, you're going to use this part here. Others can bring chairs here. So, manage, mugende mu namba zamwe. Please, wali wadenga baby omukyusiza ku namba yo. You know, number 4 kati. Tugenda kutabula. Number 4 tuli wano. Number 4 here. Number 3 there. And we encourage active participation. Number 5. Yes, number 5. Hey, number 5, please. Others can bring chairs here because it has to be in form of a discussion. Number 5, you go and pick your paper. Generate ideas. Yes. Are we together? So what we are going to do, members, it's 3:35. So we are going to do this for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Eh? No, we are going to do 20. Yeah, totally mature. We are going to chase people around. We all know what we are supposed to do. Nze manyi wenje obakwatira. Okay.
Can you put the time on the rewind? Help me understand, can you tell me now why you made a war that was fighting now? And you fall and you run when you see my big guns. Run around, run away. your rebel comes out, then you call on me. When you call me, I come, and then you go again. With your deaf ears, open your mind to the sound of the trumpet. What do you want from the life of the hopeless? Now you want, you're begging and crying. I want to fly, yeah, I'm flying till morning. Running away to the land of discovery. Running away from the suffering I'm gone, yeah. Running away from the darkness I'm out, yeah, yeah. I had done all the limits, going way beyond the noise of your feelings. When you speak, all I can hear is silence. Running back from all the pain and violence. Big tunes, now it's big tunes, I'm kidding. Crying out from the side, now come on in. Fall down when you see me, you know that I was there for you. I will wait 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 for you. For you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. He don't cast, last. Now everybody go to breakfast. To go bow for the result, oh. Nothing to discuss, oh. Cause I take win by default and without any doubt, oh. I'm a me happy adult, oh. I no go feed the girl, I no go feed the guys out, oh. I'm a mind that's you the dark, oh. I put my life into my job and I know I'm in trouble. She manipulate my love, oh. I know holy, and I know that get both. Like the Baba Frayo, Mahayo, don't cry, yo. Anigibo Ashayo, Anigibo Ashayo, Anigibo Ashayo, Anigibo Ashayo, Shayo, Anigibo Ashayo, Anigibo Ashayo, Anigibo Ashayo, I did what I got when them kill Obama. I did try to buy moto, want Toyota Corolla. My feelings been this swing like. Tell me why you're crying, I'm kidding big, girl. When you gave me something I don't really feel, but you knew that already. When I found you on the ground in the dark, now you come into my yard on the back. When you see me on the edge, you know. If the world was dead, would you cry or would you try to get me? Tell me now, I want you to be clear. Tell me now, I need you to be clear. Yeah. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I will wait for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. Yeah, baby. Can you put the time on a rewind? Help me understand. Can you tell me now why you made a war that was fighting now? And you fall and you run when you see my big guns. Run around, run away as the rebel comes out. Then you call on me. When you come, I come. But then you go again with your deaf ears. Open your mind to the sound of the trumpet. What do you want from a life of the hopeless? Now yeah, you want, you're begging and crying. I want to fly, yeah, I'm flying till morning. Running away to the land of discovery. Running away from the suffering I'm gone, yeah. Running away from the darkness I'm out, yeah, yeah. I had done all the limits, going way beyond the noise, the feelings. When you speak, all I can hear is silence. Running back from all the pain and violence. Big tunes, now it's big tunes I'm keeping. Crying out from the side now, from my head. Fall down when you see me, you know that I was there for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you, for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you.
We don't cast, last. Now everybody go to breakfast. Shayo. Shayo. To go bow for the result, nothing to discuss.
Captain, a jet laptop is directly ahead. Fasten your seatbelts. We are flying.
I
Hello, 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 hello. I'll request members, please, on those stick notes you're working on, kindly in the corner just put a number of your group, so that when we are putting them together, we can always know how to capture during the rapporteuring.
Now you come into my yard on the party. When you see me on the edge, you know. If the world was dead, would you cry or would you try to get me? Tell me now, I want you to be clear. Tell me now, I need you to be clear. Yeah. I won't wait for you. I will 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 wait for you. Girl, baby. Can you put the time on a rewind? Help me understand, can you tell me now why you made a war that was fighting now? And you fall and you run when you see my big guns. Run around, run away as your rebel comes out. Then you call on me. When you call me, I come. And then you go again. Your deaf ears, open your mind to the sound of the trumpet. What do you want from a life of the hopeless? Now you want, you're begging and crying. I want to fly, yeah, I'm flying till morning. Running away to the land of discovery. Running away from the suffering, I'm gone, yeah. Running away from the darkness, I'm out, yeah, yeah. I had done all the limits, going way beyond the noise in your feelings. When you speak, all I can hear is silence. Running back from all the pain and violence. Big tunes, now it's big tunes, I'm kidding. Crying out from the side, now come on in. Fall down when you see me, you know that I was there for you. I will wait for you, I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you, I will wait for you. I will wait for you.
He don't cast, last. Now everybody go to breakfast. To go bow for the result, nothing to discuss, cause I think
It's amazing to be here in Accra, Ghana on the eve of the World Cup, hearing all the story, learning your chant, experiencing the energy, the passion of the support. We are bounded by our love for Africa and our love of the game, regardless.
the dark. Now you come into my heart, uninvited. When you see me on the edge, I'm not. If the world was dead, would you cry or would you try to get me? Tell me now, I want you to be clear. Tell me now, I need you to be clear. Yeah. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you. Yeah, baby. Can you put your time on a rewind? Help me understand, can you tell me now why you made a war that was fighting now? And you fall and you run when you see my big guns. Run around, run away as the rebel comes out. There you go, call on me. When you come, I come. And then you go again. With your deaf ears, open your mind to the sound of the trumpet. What do you want from the life of the hopeless? Now you want, you're begging and crying. I want to fly, yeah, I'm flying till morning. Running away to the land of discovery. Running away from the suffering I'm gone, yeah. Running away from the darkness I'm out, yeah, yeah. I had done all the limits, going way beyond the noise in your feelings. When you speak, all I can hear is silence. Running back from all the pain and violence. Big tunes, now it's big tunes I'm kidding. Crying out from the side, now come on in. Fall down when you see me, you know that I was there for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you.
We don't cast, last. Now everybody go to breakfast. To go bow for the result, nothing to discuss. Cause
Tell me why you're crying, now can you big deal? When you gave me something I don't really feel, but you knew that already. When I found you on the ground in the dark, get me. Tell me now, I want you to be clear. Tell me now, I need you to be clear. Yeah. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you. Yeah, baby. Can you put the time on a rewind? Help me understand, can you tell me now why you made a war that was fighting now? And you fall and you run when you see my big guns. Run around, run away as the rebel comes out. Then you call on me when you come, I come. And then you go again with your deaf ears. Open your mind to the sound of the trumpet. What do you want from the life of the hopeless? Now you want, you're begging and crying. I want to fly, yeah, I'm flying till morning. Running away to the land of discovery. Running away from the suffering I'm gone, yeah. Running away from the darkness I'm out, yeah, yeah. I had done all the limits, going way beyond the noise in your feelings. When you speak, all I can hear is silence. Running back from all the pain and violence. Big tunes, now it's big tunes I'm kidding. Crying out from the side, now come on in. Fall down when you see me, you know that I was there for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you, for you. I won't wait for you. I won't wait for you.
Okay, members, let's get back here and then we see which approach we are going to use as we are seeing our groups presenting. Letitia's group, you seem like you hadn't finished. People are still... Okay. Now, there's the group 3 is ready. Can we all converge and see what they are presenting? Are we together? Let's all come and see what group 3 is doing, what is offering for us. Banangi. Nteke mu Luganda muki. Mwenna mujje wano mulabe group 3 kyekola ki? Ate saawa zino si za kukoowa ate si za ntondo za kandanda. Okay. And whatever you're doing, just know we are... Members, you come. Muveye you namu. Genda twononera ebifaananyi. Atayagala agende alindira eri chai. Buli omu mwetaaga wano otunule oyige ku banno kye bakola ki.
Hi. Are we all here? Yes. So,
Grace, are we capturing this? Okay, it's good you labeled them. can always capture them.
Yes. We are from group 3. So I take it like you're all from group 3 and you're welcome to group 3. So our question was, what gives me the strength, or what gives you the strength and motivation every day to do your work? And our answers are many, as you can see. But I'll begin with the most important. That is salary. But I work without pay. Where will I get transport from if I'm not paid? That is why when we come to workshop, we are given transport refund. Me as an individual, taking my art treatment motivates me because when I take my art, then I have another day to live. Responsibilities. When you have responsibilities, you know you need money, so you have to wake up every day and go to work because you have to fulfill your responsibilities. To see the change in discriminative laws that are discriminating us, people living with HIV, the KPs, kwegambe bizibu bingi. It also depends on the team members you're working with. If you have a team ngekuwalana, you will not wake up to come to work because toyagala kubalabako. But if you have a hard-working team, then you have a reason to wake up and go to work because the motivation to change my community. So when I work hard, making a difference. I think you know what that means. Achieving personal goals in life. We all have different goals. I believe everyone has a goal. Talina, come to me. Timely payments. Okay, yes, timely payments also motivate. You might have salary, ngataja mu budde. Some when I'm paid on time, nchanja kera ko mina bbiri. Chovola balero nzize mango kubanga jo transport refund namufunye mu budde. Prayer motivates us. Echiriwa. Transport refund twamufunya mu budde chovola batwakedde. Prayer motivates most of us to wake up to work hard because it is God giving us another opportunity to live. So we always have to thank Him before we do anything in the morning. I'm not preaching. I'm just to fight for the equality and what of LGBTIQ persons. Talking to my God in the morning through prayers every day gives me strength to do my work every day. Advice from my parents and encouragements motivate and encourage me to work hard every day. Acknowledgements. You know, when you're working with that. Okay. Out of example, for example, I'm working with Maldme. It is a huge organization with over 200 workers, and let me say we are doing different kinds of work. For us, volunteers work the more. So, in the end, at the end of the year, maybe you have an end of year party and you're not appreciated. So when you're acknowledged, when you're appreciated, next year because you want to be appreciated again, which is not possible. What else? Learning and sharing. Through learning and sharing, I think you know what it means. The goal to see that LGBTIQ persons are involved effectively, to see a stigma-free society. Thank you, Mona, but I am done, and thank you all.
Okay, let's clap for her again. Thank you, Daphne, and the group. For members, is there anyone who wants to add on what they have done, or we go to the next? Okay. Okay, let's go to group 2. Those we pin it much up.
Up, okay.
For our documentation purposes. Ani omulala asobola okukwata kana akateeke waggulu. Sebo, you seem to be
the tall one. Era ku ntebe yange yagala olinnya. Ajja kutuuka.
Mugamba nti mubeera najeera enkuba abenaasana babasoose wano. Era bw'ojja past 9 manya nti nkuyina mu ttaano. Okay, let's go.
Thank you all for coming to group 2. This is group 2, and our question is what I find the most difficult in providing HIV and sexual reproductive health and rights services to children, adolescents, and young people. So we are here. We have what we found or what we find difficult while providing services are the policies and laws that limit the service provision. When you look at the laws in healthy, they are not really favorable to children, more so adolescents. So they hinder us in providing services. The language and communication, the languages that are used are too technical. So we find it difficult, one, us to understand it, then the ones that are going to receive, or the beneficiaries, also find it difficult to understand the language. We have stigma and ignorance. And now this comes more when it comes to HIV. We have stigma both to those living with HIV and the negative people. So we both have stigma. So stigma makes work difficult for us. Ignorance is that until today, we find communities that don't really appreciate that we have people living with HIV. So it's also another way that makes us stay back on provision while providing services. Biased mindset. When it comes to our cultures, religious, communities, individuals, we still have that bias when it comes to sexual reproductive health rights services and information, and also the HIV part of it. Okay. Hostility from the people. Hostility from people. We provide services to. I'll give an example of Daphne. You may find that Daphne. Daphne is my friend, so let me use her because we understand each other. So
I think let's avoid, unless it's okay with her.
Yes, it's okay. You may find that.
We don't want attacks to be outside here.
We are not. We can't attack.
Okay, we go.
So you may find that Daphne really doesn't. She's not really ready to open up and also to understand or disclose her status. So definitely, you can't provide a service that someone has not really consented or appreciated to receive. Finance. It's difficult to provide services without money. Even it's very difficult. You can't make a community activity without money. You can't call up people to go and get services or to get information while you're not providing transport refund for them. So it's difficult for us to provide services to children, because of finance. And finance doesn't only come to us, but even when you look at the provider, healthy service providers, also they have difficulties when it comes to finance. The safe spaces. Now we find difficulties that the so-called safe spaces are not really safe for us. So it's very difficult in that the safe spaces are no longer safe for children, adolescents, and young people to receive services that really build their healthy and also provide quality services for them. So the safe spaces hinder us from providing HIV and sexual reproductive health rights services. Culture and religious beliefs. We all know it's always culture. Everything rotates around culture, the religious, the beliefs and norms around HIV, around sexual reproductive health also hinders us from providing. The community, why are you laughing? It's okay. The community perspective, how community perceives us. Most of the times they think we are money oriented. We want to get fund from them. We want to use them to earn a living. We want to use them and... Sorry? Hope. Yes. Confidentiality. You find that you go to a facility, the health worker, you open up to a health worker, this health worker doesn't really gives you a room of privacy. So before you leave the facility, you find that your message is all over the facility, how you HIV positive, how you have STIs, how you had sex yesterday. So the confidentiality part of it makes it difficult for us to provide sexual reproductive health rights and HIV. Thank you so much. Any question? Yes, darling.
On clients being hostile, most of just to add, people be hostile because bali ignorant. Bamanyi what information you want to give them or what services you want to give them. Balozo obajamu sente over exposing us. So I think it also falls under stigma and ignorance.
Any addition?
Now, do you mean they separate them and have a stick note on ignorance?
Separated.
Okay.
We already separated them.
I'm thinking I may want to to provide the services, but the services are not available. So availability also hinders me from giving the service. Or it might also be there and it is not accessible for me who wants to provide.
Okay.
Articulating the kind of services that the young people need.
Under SRHR, Ebola. Ebola is a business. Chigende mpola. Ogere mpola tuyinza obutaddayo. Okay. So, members, let's go this side. Let's clap for the members. Don't mind. The reason I'm doing like this, mentally, there's something I'm doing. So let's have this.
Group 4 mugenda kwogera mbogerere.
Kyokoze kya bwerere.
Hello, everyone. Our question was, what supports me in my personal life when things are difficult? What do I do? So as a group, we had different opinions, but I'm going to say them as they are mine. Okay, you meditate. You meditate about the situation that has made you feel bad or stressed. You pray about it. Prayer is very important. Personally, I watch movies to distract my mind. I stress it, personally. I stress it. Have a supportive circle of friends. In case you are going through something at work or in your, personal life, have a supportive circle of friends. Someone you can sit down with to distract you or to talk about the situation, to avoid having depressions or anxiety. Listen to good music, music that calms you down, that calms your soul down. Have a positive mind. Everything can happen, bad things happen, but if you always have a positive mind, you always relax. Take a vacation. Take yourself somewhere if you have the money. Huh? Take yourself out. Eh? Take yourself out for a cocktail or something, a massage, a spa day. You need those things. If you are open to your family members, especially mothers, you sit down with them and mama banchaye. So if you have a good connection with any of your relatives, you'll get an avo. So you don't have to confine in that depression alone. If you have a pet, who has pets like a dog, a cat? Yeah, those are, normally people have pets. Excuse me? Mostly people have pets to have something to confine in, like a supportive thing. So it's a supportive pet. You can sit down with it or talk to it. It listens and it doesn't judge you. And that's the good thing. No, and it doesn't judge you. That's the important part. Getting judged. I think that's all. If you guys have seen, there is, you cry about it. If you are someone with a lot of anger issues, take yourself like to a bathroom and scream it all out. It's very important. It helps you mentally. Let me see, what else? No, not get the dance and nyonga. When you're in a situation, first calm down, rest or something, and then later think about it. See if I find a solution to it. Nduga, find a solution to it. I think that is all. Who has something to add?
So as we know it, sex is very important. Yes. Additional, yes. Sex as it is has to be safe. It has to be safe as it is. Hey, kakati never drug user, put weight here. Yes. Those things are relaxing more than manga sharing. We do an end of what? We take away in all sorts. Cookie, bushy, in case yaliwo. In case yaliwo, walo hybriding, you know? All those things. Thank you.
The question seems to be somehow personal. So to those who like writing like me, when I'm writing, when I'm feeling like, when the things get difficult, I try relaxing, listening to music, watching adventurous movies, what. It fails, I write it down. I basically write it entirely as it was, fully. That's it.
Oh, that's why people have personal diaries. You talk about your day, like today, nze dafini yanvumye, Saakyagadde.
There is something, yeah? There is something which happens to you, yeah? Like we have our peer leaders when you need counseling.
Or you talk to a peer leader. Okay, that's very interesting.
Nicole and Tim, sometimes it's important to get a hug when things are difficult. When someone gives you a hug.
It's okay. I'm the moderator of the session, Van Nang.
It's very important to go for swimming if you really like. Water. If you can't swim, at least go in water. Water is life. You can't drown. Onabako or ugako. And again, sports is the best way to chase stress. Yeah. Yeah.
There's something. No, it works. Trust me, it works. And not everyone does it, but if you feel like everything does not work, try getting shocked. You forget everything. No, like, let's like. Category of undergarment, if you don't know how to swim, go to water. Go in water and drown. You think about your life. No, it works. It has worked for some people.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
No, what works for me does not work for everyone. Sometimes, in my opinion.
Okay.
Lovely team members, sweethearts. Those are answers. So
Okay.
Hey. No, he has said that Ali coordinator.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to take us back to where Baka said, no, not shock, that drug use bit of it. So using drugs might not be bad, but we abuse them. To the point that you'll drink and you feel like you're tipsy and continue. So yes, let's not reach to that point. I don't want to say drug use is bad because it works for some people, but let's use them respectively. And then for people who inject drugs, let's listen. For people who inject drugs, there is the NSP, the needle and syringe program, so that it's provided for you that you do not share your injections with any other person. And in this way, we are trying to prevent HIV infections, yes, transmit and other infections. So when you're using drugs, I advise that you don't use them excessively, use them responsibly, and sometimes it's better that you have grams that are elite for your body. Because sometimes ojasangaze nkozi sampi so satu olunaku nga for you your blood, all your body can take in only 1 gram. Are we together? So when people talk about drug use, let's not use it abusively. Let's use it responsibly. Yes.
Okay, let's give them a round of applause.
No, we are going that side. It's like this. It's like this.
Like what?
Group 5.
So we go to 5, eh? Group 5, Letitia. I mean, Nalugo Letitia. Your group. Group 5.
Who is presenting for group 5? Letitia. What?
Don't take time.
What's your name?
You summarize.
Hi everyone, I'm called Letitia and I'm presenting for group 5. The question, the question, what would make me feel more empowered and supported in my workplace to provide HIV or SRHR services to children, adolescents, and young people? So our first answer was like being equipped with correct, being equipped with correct and accurate information on SRHR and HIV. Being engaged in all platforms of decision making on issues that concern young people. You understand? Provision of identification materials like cards, t-shirts, among others. Bana, that is key. We go for outreaches, never to who are you, what have you come to do? Nga you do not have an answer. Oza banange. Naze anda chino ba idea nga kuza bebichebyo naze anda taso nga they do not understand. Availability of consumables like condoms, lubricants, and contraceptives to young people. Bana, you people put these things in health facilities. Enough of them. Consideration of our opinions in time. You should consider our opinions and then in time. Stipends for us to disseminate the information to young people in the community. Everything will be self-explanatory. Having technical support from our teammates, yes, and providing mental health services. For us, so that we be stable, because so many people tell us different things. So, too much stress. We need mental health services. Having partnerships and collaborations with friendly health services. Yes, this is key. Having strong partnerships with those health facilities helps us do our work more better. Providing us with internet allowances or to do more research, yes. To do more research about what we do. Yeah, that's in for group 5. Thank you. Letitia, have
I will feel more empowered and supported. Bweba bansasula mu budde nakyo wali kitaddeko.
Nedda. Bana, first wait, we didn't give them a round of applause. And mbadde siwulidde. We are left with one, eh? Group 1. Group 1.
Kakati group 1 Kakati group 1 what I like most about providing HIV and SRHR services to my fellow young people. So first and foremost, this is me, money and respect. Because like there are some clients we work on or people we serve, they are outside the community, they appreciate the work you do. So some of us took a liking to what they give us, like money, respect. And secondly, inspiring young people. I personally was inspired to do this kind of work, but I think I was not inspired enough. Then there's branding. We have people in this community who have made a name for themselves. That one. Letitia. There are people we know, like people they mention names and you automatically know what work they do and yes. So then there is motivation. When you provide services, you motivate people to go get them, because whenever you provide services, you explain the good things that are in getting this kind of services, the HIV and the SRHR services. And the other point is giving back to the community. Some people have been nurtured by the community, and maybe this could be one way of them giving back to the community. No yamba bantu, maybe who went through what you went through, maybe who don't have someone to know, let them know about like HIV and these services. And then another thing is lessening stigma and discrimination, whenever we do this kind of work, if you ever received it like before you go to where you are right now, you can know how comforting it is to know that there's someone who understands you, someone who's going to give you what you've been looking for without you having to go around the bush, There is creating an empowered community that knows where and when to access HIV and SRHR services. I think that's self-explanatory. Then there is seeing a community that does not repeat the same mistakes as you, the person giving the services, currently did back then. Because like when you're providing services and you tell someone to gambe, the person is going for a 10 sum and you went for it and you saw how bad it was and you didn't get services. An OG, that one. Yes. Branding, engagement, the community. There is, I make my fellow young people aware of their sexual rights. We know our sexual rights. We know our rights. Take it, that one. Then there's reducing stigma among young people from accessing SRHR services. Inspiring my fellow young girls from teenage pregnancies. Protecting my fellow youth and friends from being infected with other STI diseases. We protect each other. It helps in creating a more aware. It helps in creating more awareness about what services are available. It also helps in what's this word? No, like this word. This is interact with my it also helps me to interact with my peers closely and addressing their challenges. On a personal level with them. What else? Being a voice for the voiceless. Literally, most of us, that's what we are doing here. But we are being a voice for the voiceless. What you're working on? Hey. I think then there is to know how they live in their standards of adherence, of taking medicine and use of the drugs, letting my fellow young ones to know the importance of life, giving me the energy when I'm trying to explain to them the use of HIV and services. Or it gives me energy, like it energizes the person when he's giving the services. Letting my fellow young... Okay, that one is done. So we had those. Thank you.
Okay. Any other person who wants to add?
Please go on.
Answer moderator.
Me, what I like most about providing HIV and SRHR services to my fellow young people, it's building that strong friendship within them. Because the more I come engage in healthy talks with them and so on, there is a kind of friendship that I build within them. And whenever I'm passing by, they're like, oh, she's a good person, And that's, hey, even the great imagery within, even besides the community, but also the person you are. Because gwosobola representing abalala b'ekikula, Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Siko wankasa wabawo ebintu nga bennyumira nga tebinkwatako siko wakwogera nze. To me, what I like most about providing SRHR is seeing a change in my community, seeing young people changing from being negative-minded to a positive mindset, appreciating others the way they are, without discrimination, without isolation, and without pinpointing. And the last one is having icons in my community through my work. Yeah, that makes me proud of my work.
Thank you very much. I think with that, let's give group one a round of applause. And that brings us to the end of our discussions. So members, So members, what we are going to do next is to bamalize okusika obutebe. Mumalize? Mumaliriza. Okay. Okay. Nicole, Kale. So what we are going to do, the next step is for us to choose the questions that stood out most, that we are going to push to tomorrow, to push forward tomorrow. So how do we do it? Do we have suggestions? So the next is for us to choose amongst these questions, for us to choose 2 questions that stood out most, or the most paining, the most that you think that these we should take them forward. 2 most. That is what I find the most difficult in providing HIV and SRHR services to children, adolescents, and young people. So that is one suggestion. Yes.
With one, on what I like most about providing HIV and SRHR services.
Okay. So one suggestion is that we have one. This says what I find the most difficult, right, in providing HIV and SRHR services to children, adolescents, and young people. Then this one suggests that what I like most about providing. So what is difficult and what I like most. Another suggestion? Yes.
Yeah, colleagues, though we are providing services, each one of us has a life to live. And so I look at question 4, what supports me in my personal life when things are difficult. I know even some people are right here, but things are quite difficult. Maybe they will give you small transport refund compared to where you come from, and already you're disturbed. So I would go with that too.
Okay, that's important.
Basically, me, I think number 5 and number 3, they seem to be the same. So it would be better to go with number 2 and number 4.
Okay. So we have another suggestion for 2 and 4. So number 4 is what supports me in my personal life when things are difficult. Okay, I heard you.
Yes. So we are here on behalf of others, right? And there are some things, of course, okay, personal life. My personal life will not support the other. So it will in one way or the other, but there are some that are most important. So I would go with this question because it reads, what would make me feel more empowered and supported in my workplace to provide HIV and SRH services to children, adolescents, and young people. So this is what I would go with because, in my own opinion,
So you suggest that what would make me feel more empowered and supported in my workplace? Okay, so if you're working for the people, that's your workplace still. That's still like a personal. Okay. Okay. Okay, go ahead. So we're going to take 3 more people. One, back at 2. This side.
Mona. Okay, my suggestion is this. Why I picked number 2, it hits the same with this, because it's providing services to children, adolescents, and young people. It hits both sides. So if 5 or 2 is picked, it is okay. But then to speak on mental health, number 4 hits more on mental health, and which is really key and important to mostly adolescents and young people.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I'll move to Mona, then back I'll take you after. Ladies first.
Thank you so much. Is it on? Yeah. So I'd also give it to G4, because we cannot operate from a broken system from within. So you need to care for the self first before you give it out to the community. Most of our work is more inclined to supporting communities than ourselves. So why not also be selfish for once to say that we also matter? And 5 really speaks volumes for me as well. Yeah.
So from democracy, I see that G4 is our first question that we're taking forward, right? So what supports me in my personal life when things are difficult? That is our first question. So I will take, there are 2 people left, Baka and her. So we have 1 question already. So.
I'll choose 1 and 4. Yes. I said choose to like. Yes. Reason why I would choose 1, sometimes we run out of passion. But we have things we like. And whenever I see something you like, it keeps you going. And 4, like my sister had said, you can't operate, like you can't work with, you're getting supported but you're broken inside. You can't. You cannot. You have to first fix yourself. Then you go with number 5. Like this comes after you. Because like this is more like individual. What, like how does your system operate before you give out others? Once you're toxic inside, you're going to give toxicity outside. Thank you.
Lastly.
Yeah, thank you so much. Me again, I'll go back. It's 2 and 4. Because why 2 is 2 captures a lot. Because it's what I find most difficult. This captures the workplace. Not only the workplace, even it provides a space for what I like most. Because if what hinders provision is sorted, that means what I like most is also given. The empowerment from my workplace is given. Now, when you look at 4 captures 3, because they align. Yes, that's what I take.
Thank you. So from democracy, we have 4 and 2, because most people are saying 2 is more like 5. So we have 4 and 2 as our questions that we are taking forward. So I think moderator Kakole inquiry.
Let's clap for Amo. Yes, I'm very happy that the tasks we are given, we have completed them. Now, these 2 questions that we have come up with, is it a consensus of the whole group or abamu tukiriza bukiriza? And by the way, this exercise is not being done by only us. It's across, all together. And even to make it worse, the same questions. So whatever we put here, let's hope we're not throwing ourselves in the... So those 2 questions, tomorrow, tomorrow we are going to be able now to give Letitia, how do they say? Conclusive and concrete issues. Yes. So that it's very, very big. And if it's an issue, it has come up as a question, then we need to get solutions for it and share with it with the holders. Now, tomorrow we're also going to have someone from Pata Summit. So meaning you're going to be presenting those things. In fact, mpulira njagala obamba we homework. Obamba sonyuwe. Because if we go and do homework, this guy can come at 9. And we said, if you don't come at 9, you don't come. Because you can't find the guest here. Now what are you going to do? Maje. Muchitegeera. Anyway. Members. No, leero bambi tetujja kubasonyiwa mutukoze bubi seriously. Let me tell you, for me, when they were briefing me about this group, they told me these are professionals, rain doesn't work. Mona Lisa, when you're going to the airport, do you say it's rain? All one agambe rain, no, seriously. Naye wogamba nti ticket eri one, even if it's thunder. You'll see them. So I think let's have that spirit, if we are to as individuals and also. But thank you very much. So those 2 questions, we're going to do them first thing tomorrow morning. First thing tomorrow morning. Let's agree. What time should we be here? Latest. So that if you come beyond that, we just tell us what we can do to you. 9:30. Mujje mubere nansana. Muli eyo wala nyeyo. Where are you coming from? Eyo wala. Okay, we agree. No, 10 is far. Do we agree 9? This is the last day. Let's make it better. Please, anyone who comes past 9, what do we do? Amo, you say something. Tujja chikola. And for me, I'm good at enforcing. What do we do?
I think to just be fair, let's make a ceiling of 9:30. Then we can, maybe when you come after that, you can.
So, Banange, let's be cooperative.
No, but at least 9:30, I'm sure we are speaking to all of us listening. 9:30, let's be here, please.
Okay. Okay, otherwise, thank you very much for the day. I joined you late, but Letitia did a great job. And tomorrow I'm around the whole day. So, we appreciate, and I appreciate all of you for the good work, seeing that you're pushing this cause forward. Mu Luganda waga tujja kutuuka ffenna gye twagala okola ki? Whether others stop on the way, for us we shall continue. Are we together? Thank you very much. We have tea. Temutulekerawo bintu wano. Kankiddemu mu Luganda. Ku makya tutandikira wano tukole groups ezebbiri. Si ekyo. To responding nga tuli fresh. Let's not interfere with your privacy now. You go home and enjoy yourselves. Nga babakuba emipiira. Ebirala mujja tunyumiza enkya. Kale, logistic wise, after taking your tea, please you go one at a time. Sagala mujjule wali bambi mujja confusing finance waffe. Omukomu naye musoke munywe chai. Teri gwe bagenda kuwa nga tananywa chai. It's as simple as that. Kati aina fridge mukamwa yamanyi. Anange ngenze mbana abaana ne ebintu bimpiseeko wano.